Oh yeah, it's 8. I'm sorry, I can't say nothing.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Morning Sports Podcast. I'm BA along with James JTRAIN Martin, Keith ENGLE, and Jack HIRSCH. I hope you gentlemen are having a very good morning this morning. Hey, some sports went on yesterday. Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Get into that right immediately. It was a very good game. Wemby won the Western Conference Finals MVP. OKC just fell short. It was a very good game. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but we'll get to that. I'm just going to say SGA scored 35 points, but they were loud in the first half, but they weren't so loud in the second half. I just think that he had opportunities to make shots and he was just missing them. And when he needed to make the shots, good morning, Danny. I don't know what's going on with that SGA. He did not have a very good MVP performance in this series, basically all through the playoffs. So that hurt OKC, as well as we're going to get into Chet Holmgren not doing his job. Good morning, Liz.
Ben Simmons.
I think mostly, I was going to say that's probably mostly the problem. I mean, SGA, I think he did what he could. I mean, 35 points is still nothing to sneeze at. I mean, I just think that you going up against probably the best team with all hands on deck, it's going to be kind of hard to be like MVP, like when you have a team that's not only offensively good, they're defensively good as well, that you're playing against the Spurs. And you have somebody come up small like Chet Holmgren, I mean, who had 2 of 4 in the first half and didn't have any shots in the second half. And he played up against Wemby. I mean, Wemby took it personal, but Chet did not take it personal. And I think that made the difference in the game, in that game, not having that guy. I thought Hartenstein playing a much better game than Chet Holmgren. And so, yeah, I think that was pretty much the difference there. Because again, you can only do so much with 35 points. Yeah, that's it.
7 guys in double figures, can't beat that. No, not too many times you can do that.
Holmgren. I thought they traded for Ben Simmons in this because this is what he looked like. He takes 2 shots in Game 7. 2 key moments last night. SGA did play well. First of all, Hartenstein played well as well, but I think the biggest play of the game was the block that
shifted everything.
Cornette, he played like 6 seconds in the second half, and he made that block. That was a key play with Wemby off the floor. And the other one, they're down 6 with about 50 seconds left, and SGA had a clear path to the basket. I know they could take a 2 there, and he throws the ball back outside. He had a clear path to the basket.
I was wondering about that too.
I didn't understand that. You make it 4 there, you got plenty of time. And they didn't. I don't think they were aggressive enough trying to get Wemby out of the game once he got his 5th foul with 5 or 6 minutes left too. They didn't get the ball inside. So, they played well, but they didn't play well enough. There's something missing. And to Jack's point about these teams, whether they're going to be rivals going forward, the Thunder need something to make that happen. And maybe Giannis comes up in conversation for the Oklahoma City Thunder, where I hadn't thought that'd be a possible destination. It might be now. I don't know.
Now that reality set in and the Thunder are eliminated, we're not having to talk about a rivalry going forward. San Antonio loses in the finals to the Knicks and San Antonio enters next season and they're not the NBA champions, that they've yet to win one, then you can call it a rivalry next season because San Antonio,
so,
they would have beaten OKC, but they didn't really take the next step, didn't get to where, was maybe expected. I did not.
So you're really going to exclude the fact that Jalen Williams didn't play?
Absolutely. I'll exclude it every bit as much as I would OKC. Let me talk here. Just as much as they would OKC winning the NBA title. I don't find you guys funny at all, by the way. Just as much as Halliburton being out for the Indiana Pacers. Halliburton missed that game, but you're going to give all the glory to OKC, NBA champions, okay? But Williams is out for OKC. That is not as big as Halliburton being out for the Pacers. But you're going to disregard one thing, but you're going to point to the injury thing with the other and just fluff it off, guys.
I'm not fluffing it off.
No, I wouldn't do that with Halliburton. I thought that was a major deal with Halliburton being out.
My only laughter was at you asking somebody to let you talk. That was the only thing I laughed at.
I laughed about it a little inside myself.
It had nothing to do with it. Listen, San Antonio had injuries
I got to get
as well.
the point. You guys are making excuses this morning. That's what I'm
I get it. Give credit.
Don't say
no. That's the thing. It's no excuse, Jack. But I'm saying to say it's not a rivalry is what you. That's what I have a problem with. I disagree with that totally. And then
James, I said that is going to be determined by the end of the Knicks-Spurs series. If the Spurs beat the Knicks in the NBA champions, a rivalry means either team can win it going forward, that they're basically equals for the most part. That's what a rivalry is. A rivalry isn't if one team is clearly ahead of the other team. That isn't a rivalry.
Why'd we call the Yankees and Red Sox a rivalry for 4 decades when the Red Sox didn't win?
No, we didn't. We didn't really call it a rivalry when the Red Sox hadn't really won yet.
Like the rivalry between a hammer and a nail. That's what that rivalry.
Jack, I would give you your point if the Spurs beat them 5 games in 5 games. They went 7 games, Jack, and it came down to the wire almost there. So you can't really say it's not a rivalry. I mean, especially with OKC missing a couple of key players in the game. They had all hands on deck on their side.
But they had their players during the season.
No, they did not. The guy he only played 33 games the whole season.
Fox was hurt most of the series, and he was a key guy. And the early games are just as important as the later ones.
It's still a rivalry, Jack. If they meet up and they have to go through each other, and one team or the other dominates that next 5 years, wins 4 out of 5, that's still a rivalry. If you are matching up year after year,
guys, the point is this. I'm going to ask you all a question. Is San Antonio going to get better the next couple of years?
Yes.
In all probability. Is OKC going to get better? Maybe they could stay the same. They're not going to get better.
They could get better. Why couldn't they?
Why couldn't they? How are they going to get better, OKC? Oh, Holmgren's going to wake up all of a sudden?
Well, that's the job of the GM and the coaches to bring in guys that can make them get better the next 3 years. You don't just stay... if you just stay as you are, then yes, you'll probably take a little bit of a step back.
I don't know who they're going to bring in, who they're going to trade, who they're going to bring in as a free agent.
That's not an old team. It's not like we're talking about guys.
No, they're going to be a force. OKC, I'm not going to be surprised if they win 60 games next year. But
Jack, I'm going to give you a comparison here. So SGA, even though I'm not going to say he's not Jordan. I'm just saying Jordan had Scottie Pippen next to him, and Jordan couldn't win without Scottie Pippen. To me, SGA, his Scottie Pippen was the guy that was on the sidelines. And that was a big loss for them in this series. That was a huge loss for them in the series.
You think Williams is nearly as good as Scottie Pippen?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is his Scottie Pippen on his team. He's that good for his team, is what I'm saying. I'm not calling him the top 50 greatest player in the NBA. I'm saying for him on his team, it would have been great for them had he played during the series. That's all I'm saying.
DeAndre Fox was Wemby's Scottie Pippen, and he was hurt most of the series.
He played when it mattered. He played when it mattered.
But the
Game 7, he showed up. Yeah.
That's what. Yes, of course.
Jack, the question you asked, though, will OKC be better next year? Just Jalen Williams being healthy and playing 82 games or whatever he plays, they're going to be better just because of that.
Exactly.
And that's not an excuse for them losing now. There are no excuses.
Right.
If the Spurs lost, I would not have allowed excuses for the other two guys either. I agree. So, they may get better, they may not. I think this will be better.
OKC is a heck of a team. They really are. They're a heck of a team. They're not going to go away. But I think their run is going to be similar to what we saw with the Denver Nuggets. They got their championship, and the Nuggets haven't been back to the finals.
Maybe. If you want to crown them, Jack, crown them. Jeez.
No. Listen, if the Knicks beat the Spurs, yes, it's a rivalry going into next season. I'll even be excited to see the games as a rivalry because bottom line is you got to win the NBA championship.
How does that matter? How does that matter?
It would matter because the Spurs would have not won an NBA championship yet, and the Thunder would have won one. So it would. But
they're still in the Western Conference against another foe. I mean, I don't get the fact that they got to win a championship to be a rival in their own conference. That don't make sense.
They don't have to win every year.
To quote James, that's just goofy. Come on, these two teams are comparable, and I'm taking away the Jalen Williams thing. I'm not even using that as an excuse for OKC. OKC has a bench. Their bench came through for them yesterday. Their starting players didn't. And if Jalen Williams was in there, I don't think it would have made a difference. You got to remember something. OKC is deep all the way down to the last player on that bench. They scored 73 points in one of those games in that series. Come on. I'm not Jalen Williams or not. Even if they had him, I don't think they would have beat the Spurs, period.
They were a terrific team. I give them their due. You're missing the point. For it to be a rivalry, it has to be the type of series going forward that could go either way. Are you going to tell me that if the Spurs
that's a rivalry? If it can go either way, Jack, it's a rivalry.
Going to unseat them next year? I don't think so.
Well, I'm not going to give OKC credit here. I'm going to definitely give San Antonio Spurs credit for winning the game and playing a heck of a defensive game as well.
If I just want to make one comment, we were talking about specific players. Caruso was awful yesterday.
Yeah,
he was awful, dreadful. I know people are going to get on Chet Holmgren, but Caruso with the turnovers, and he seemed clueless out there. Now, you could argue that he was hurt, holding his wrist and so on. You can make that case. I mean,
you could argue he's trying, and Holmgren wasn't too. So Holmgren may as well not have been there.
He came up small, Jack. That was a big thing. But at the same time, like I said, Wemby in the field, he owns him. Seems like he owned him that game. He owned him pretty much that game.
They got themselves in position to come back and win that game in the last minute, really, when they got to 4 points or 6. Did they get? No, they got to 6, right?
That swing, like you said, with the block when they stole the ball, Hardenstein, that was a great block.
Yeah.
And it swung back to it was a 4-point swing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So look at you got that. To me, they got to win that game last night. The Spurs deserve all the credit in the world. I'm not going to take anything away from the Spurs, Jack. They're way ahead of where we thought we'd be. If I remember right, most of the prognosticators thought this team would be a couple of games over 500 this year, and maybe win a playoff series. Maybe they're way ahead of where they should. Everybody thought they'd be. So kudos to them, and they're probably going to get better. Yes, they'll be around. I think the Thunder will be too.
Yeah, the average starter on the Spurs is 22, which is crazy to think about.
It doesn't matter because the Knicks are going to be the team that wins 3 of the next 5. So not Spurs.
3 of the next 5 games, or
I'll homer a little bit.
There you go, over a little bit. But
You can have your homer.
Right. I got Spurs in 6. But anyway, yeah, I think that Dort didn't come out and play well either. Dort's been having problems the whole series, basically. He was like,
he's shooting like a Dort.
4 for 300. Yeah. Every time I see him, I say, Dort. But, yeah, like a homer thing, you know. I mean, yeah, the Thunder just came and outplayed. They wanted it more, to me. Okay,
they look like it.
I don't think anyone wanted it more. I think SGA tried to carry the team on his back. He can only do so much. I mean, at the end of the game, he wore down. He was physically tired at the end. He was exhausted.
He played 43 minutes.
And that's the reason why
he played the most minutes.
Yeah,
that's the reason why they lost, Jack. Because you know what? That's the team. That's a team. He is part of a team. Yes, he's a great player, but you can't defer to him all the time. You got to have the rest of your team step up. And Holmgren was the biggest part of that whole problem. Sorry.
Blame the coach. He could have run plays for Holmgren. Did they run plays? Did they involve him in the offense? We don't know what went on behind the scenes.
You know,
it's easy to point to Holmgren and blame him, but if plays aren't being run for him, then I mean, what can you? Really
I don't know, Jack. He was wide open on some things, and when he had opportunities on one-on-one, he deferred.
He didn't want the ball.
So he didn't want the ball. Seemed like, and so he seemed kind of he shrunk in that moment. It seemed like at that moment.
I think part of the problem, guys, could be the analytics. They keep the type of analytics we don't. And we see everything geared around three-point shooting. The guy's going to have the ball right under the basket, yet he's going to whip the ball out past the three-point line. Because I think the analytics show if you make X amount of shots in the two-point range as opposed to the three-point, you don't have to shoot as high a percentage of three-point shots, but in the long run, you'll come out ahead that way. Because we're seeing it happen too much in the NBA in general. Guys who have the ball underneath the basket really aren't taking advantage of it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I was watching this game and I was really being focal on that point, Jack. And I'm like, there's times when Spurs were going to the rack, and one time I believe it was Fox. They had a wide open lane to the basket. And instead of going to the basket, he delayed out to the 3-point line. I'm like, dude, just go in and score in the paint. What are you doing? This game, this NBA type of game, I'm not liking too much because now everybody's got to be a 3-point shooter, and it's disgusting. You need to get inside and get some grit in the paint. And the same thing I talk about Wemby all the time. He did a little bit better this game where he was more defensive in the paint, and that it showed. But he even had moments where he was getting carried out to the 3-point line. I said, dude, somebody switch off on whoever he's guarding and just keep him in the paint.
Jack and I have talked about that a lot. Yeah.
He's got to stay in the paint. Yeah. That dude is unstoppable if he's underneath the rim. Yeah, he can hit a 3-pointer every now and then.
I give him that 3-point shot.
This season is one of the reasons I rather enjoy basketball a little bit more than it has been in the past, because there has been a resurgence of 2-point shot. One particular reason is SGA. That's one of the reasons I like SGA, because he shoots a lot of 2-point shots.
Little mid-range shot. That mid-range jumper's kind of disappeared, and you're right. He's one guy that really does take advantage of that shot and does it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to say about SGA, correct something. When we were talking on the debate show about potential legendary players, and I dismissed SGA as such, when I meant he's not going to ultimately be put on a level with Jordan and LeBron. That's what I meant.
I understood that then.
Now is arguably the best player in the NBA, arguably right now. Well, one of the top, call him maybe a top 3 player if you want. I mean, he's really a great player, but he's never going to quite be a legendary player. A case in point, I couldn't imagine in a big spot, and don't tell me about LeBron early in his career. I mean, when LeBron hit his stride, LeBron and Jordan kind of fading out late in the game the way SGA did. But SGA, to me, I don't hold him accountable for yesterday. I know you do, Brian. you felt at the end of the game you got teammates, but his teammates were letting him down all game. Like I mentioned Caruso, I gave Caruso an F grade. I gave him an A grade early in the series. What was it, game 1 or game 2? But, you know, he was terrible in some of those turnovers. Even with San Antonio, I know the teams like to play fast, but these guys sometimes are playing so fast and out of control, and they just turn the ball over. One point, Dylan Harper, who I like a lot, you know, he was just out of control, and I kept saying, don't turn the ball over, because I could see it coming. And he's dribbling back and forth, and he didn't know what he was doing. Like, he was like caught in the headlights, and then of course he turned the ball over.
Yeah, I'd say in these games, I think there's 2 other sports being played in these games: volleyball and hot potato. Because I'm telling you right now, these guys cannot hold on to the basketball. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
it's like there was a period in yesterday's game where the ball got turned over 3-4 consecutive times between the 2 teams. I'm like, really? You guys are sloppy. This is sloppy basketball, and it's a game 7. But this is something that's apparent all through the NBA season. It's been like this. It's like, you guys cannot handle the rock. This is a basic. It's just like tackling in football. It's basic basketball. Handle the ball. Yeah, and
I think there was another little part of the game that's maybe a little underrated. San Antonio gets off to this great start. And towards the end of the second period, OKC comes back and actually grab a 3-point lead. And then San Antonio scoring the last 7 points, even though they went in only with a 4-point lead into the locker room. I think a 3-point or 4-point lead, but they went on a 7-0 run. Mm-hmm. Right. I think it meant a lot mentally, because had San Antonio been down going into the half, especially the way they came out, I think it would have given a little boost and gotten the crowd a little more into it. But listen, the game was there for OKC to win. It was there, and they just seemed to fall apart. And like Brian was saying, they'd be taking these shots that there'd be no rhyme or reason towards the end of the game. They'd just be flinging up threes.
Mm-hmm. But the announcer, I think it was Reggie Miller, mentioned that and like you guys mentioned earlier, that block pretty much changed the scope of the game. It ended the game.
On that, wow! I'm glad
Reggie Miller knows about those kind of blocks.
Yeah, I was surprised they brought Wemby with 5 fouls back so quick, because I had it in my head they took him out with 6.5 minutes left, the 5th foul, and I'm thinking you got to wait about 3 minutes till about 3.5 minutes to bring him in. Try to live without him. And they brought him back quick, but in that little amount of time he was out, what a key block by Cornette. That was a 4-point swing. I mean, that was the play of the game. And who would have thought the single biggest play of the game was Luke Cornette?
I think that's the only, I may be wrong, but I think that's the only shot the Thunder got off while he was on the bench, because they turned the ball over once and they didn't have any sense of urgency while he was on the bench, I think. But
now let me ask you guys this. This is a prediction I'm going to have. I hope it doesn't quite play out this way, because I don't like to see the fans get riled up. Wemby's been doing some dumb things. He came down with his head to kind of butter play in a way. And yesterday, what did he do? Like the forearm?
It was the elbow. That's the second elbow in the playoffs.
In New York. He does that at Madison Square Garden. He is going to create such a ruckus. The whole city is going to be in an uproar. And I kind of wonder how that might work in the Spurs' head if he becomes a bigger villain than Reggie Miller because of that.
He's got a long ways to go to be Reggie Miller.
If he does that in New York, Charles Oakley is putting on his jersey coming down to enforce the game.
Oak won't be at the game. Oak won't be at the game. Oak is trashing everyone with the Knicks. I mean,
I know.
Oak wonders why he's not invited to Madison Square Garden with the other Knick legends. But how do you invite him when you're trashing the owner? You're trashing Patrick Ewing all the time.
He didn't trash Patrick. He trashed James Dolan.
But I can see why he trashed James Dolan though. If you see that security issue, how they handled him in the.
Oak has been. He's the troublesome guy. Let's be honest.
Oh, that's his MO, but still,
that's his MO. Who wants a guy like that around?
He's also Knick fans. That's who does. James Dolan doesn't, but Knick fans do. They want him around.
You've got to tread lightly when you're around Oak. If I was a player and I was joining Charles Oakley's team, I would immediately come to him and say, "Let me carry your bags, Charles. If I were a rookie, let me get you the coffee and this and that. Get on the." You don't want to crush that guy.
I'll give you a comparison to that. Oh, so Knick fans would, and Keith's definitely right. Knick fans would want him there. Same thing like Adonai Sue here. And he was a dirty player when he first started off kicking people in the head. But the Detroit fans were defending him to the bone. Things, even though it was apparent that he was doing some dirty stuff. But that's the fans. The fans are always going to defend their players like that.
But the fans, these fans, I'm going to tell you this. If the Knicks win the NBA championship and they're having the ceremony and James Dolan, the owner's announced, they're going to boo him. What the heck has Dolan done wrong? I mean, Keith has that mentality, Dolan's such a bad guy, Dolan this. And no one stops and thinks, like, why do they hate the guy so much?
How many times do you see James Dolan in front of the press when this team stunk for the last 3 decades?
Well, you don't see him in front talking when they're winning. He's just showing up at the games. You don't see him on camera that much.
For years and decades almost, he did very little to make him any better.
And this is coming from someone who's probably critical of Jerry Jones for being in front of the camera all the time. Jerry.
I didn't say anything about Jerry being in front of the camera. I just said he shouldn't be running the team. I said he.
There you go. Because, he shouldn't be running the team.
He shouldn't be the GM. No. Hey, the man's got 2 Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson running the team and getting the players, by the way.
3 Super Bowls. He got one with Barry Switz after.
With Jimmy's players.
Right. Jerry did a great job with getting the Miami Dolphins when he took over as coach, over the top.
Well,
he did a heck of a job.
It takes a village, Jack. It takes a village.
It takes a village. You're right. Yeah. And by the way, head-to-head, when Jimmy Johnson came back to play the Cowboys when he was Dolphin coach, I think he played him 3 times. The Cowboys won every time.
I think they got the same number of playoff victories once they left, by the way. Once he left. 0 for a long time.
On that note, let's move on to.
How do we get on Jerry Jones?
I don't know why I'm
in a Dallas period.
Dolan and Jerry Jones today. I mean,
good job, Jack.
Good job. About it, yeah.
Of course, we have the finals coming up now, starting June the 3rd, between these San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. What do you guys foresee in this series? Where do you think it's going to go? Who you got? Well, I know who Keith's got, so I ain't even asking him.
Not going to ask me. Wow.
I'm going to ask you, how many games do you think the Knicks is going to take to win the series?
I think this is a 7-game series, and the Knicks will have to be as good as they were the last 10 games of the playoffs. And by the way, they did dominate for 10 straight games. Don't tell me who they played. Don't care. They're not going to have an answer easy against the Spurs. And they may not have an answer for Wemby. I don't know. We'll see how they attack that. But I think this team can win the series. It'll be hard fought. 7 games, Knicks. And I will admit that's more of a heart pick than a head pick. But there's no reason to say the Knicks cannot win the series and compete in the series.
Hilarious, Keith. You said don't tell me who they're putting in front of them. It's like some bully, some biker beating little old ladies is who they're
taking their purse. Yeah.
Taking their purse and beating them down. I mean, that's what the competition was like in the East. Who told you to cross that street by yourself?
Right.
I'm just saying. I just think that they're in for a rude awakening. It just, no matter who it was OKC. If there had to be a silver lining, I thought that they probably match up better against the San Antonio. Yes, with fully loaded. I thought they match up better. I think Even if he didn't break his finger, Mitch Robinson, he, for what I understand, his pinky finger. I heard Stephen A. Smith talk about that last night. That he broke his while he was off. He sprained it, but he's still good to go. But still, yeah, man, what are you doing? But
outside of Wemby, though,
James, tell me different ways you can break your pinky when you're not practicing in sports. I don't get it. Explain it to me. I don't understand. I want to learn something new today.
It's probably something freaky, and I don't want to know.
I mean,
just sit down. What are you doing? Right. Just wait for the next team to come.
Before James, before you make your analysis.
You're cutting your food with a knife. I get all that, but how on earth are you breaking your pinky?
I've been cutting food with a knife.
Close the door on it. Give me an explanation at least.
Listen, before you finish your analysis, I want to say one more thing. I can make an argument about the Knicks that outside of Wemby, the Knicks are better at the starters. The Knicks are better at every other position. That's all I'm going to say.
For the Spurs, you mean? Yeah, for the Spurs.
Yes.
I was going to say, they're pretty well matched. And what I was going to say about Wemby, I think OKC may have set the blueprint and how you defend him. So you get a guy who's probably a better defender in Mitch Robinson, who can probably body up on Wemby. Who knows? Who knows? I just think that, but those guys, man, they're so young. And
Robinson's going to foul out of 5 games in this series, probably. That'd be my guess.
I think a lot of things that happen with Wemby. I don't really say OKC has made a blueprint of the whole situation. I think Wemby does that himself. His disciplinary under the rim is not fluent because he's still young. He's still trying to grasp defense and offense, at his young age. So there's times I'm like, dude, you got to realize that you are the big man. You got to stay in that paint and dominate. And he hasn't grasped that concept yet. And
I disagree with that. I think a heavier athletic guy that bodied up on him. I mean, look at his size. He's not Shaq. He took a beating a little bit underneath that in the paint. And so let's put the numbers out there. He came out 41 and 24 the first game. Did he have any repeat of that the rest of the series? No, not even close.
That's the point. You made the best point, James. The best point. I know this sounds crazy to say that I was disappointed in the overall performance of a Western Conference Finals MVP. Wemby was the MVP. I actually was a little disappointed after the way he dominated game 1. I didn't see that again. I don't want to see Wemby grab 7 rebounds. Are you kidding me? 7 rebounds game after game. This guy, I want to see the monster I saw game 1. I can understand some games you're not going to score a lot. You might get 21, 22 points. But give me 16, 17 boards. Play like a big man. He's not really playing like a big man.
Lack of offensive rebounds, too.
I mean, defensively, he's a great presence, okay, as far as being an intimidator under the basket. And it's going to be tough for Jalen Brunson and Anunoby, who like to take the game right to the basket with Wemby there. It's going to be difficult. But as far as Wemby being an offensive force, I mean, the guy's a wonderful 3-point shooter for big man, but so is Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
And Wemby's not using his presence offensively where they could feed him the ball. If they feed him the ball inside, no one's going to stop him for long. Mitch Robinson will get into quick foul trouble. Karl-Anthony Towns tends to get into foul trouble. He's got to be careful. They could change the whole complexion of the game. So I was disappointed in Wemby. He wasn't that monster.
Yeah,
but you got to give credit to the defense of OKC and what they did to stop him.
A lot of credit to them,
and to Danny's point, Jack.
And even Holmgren, to a degree, they were banging them. They were using their physicality. But did Wemby challenge that? Let him get those guys in foul trouble.
To Danny's point, though, he was the MVP of the series. The Spurs don't win if he's not there. So
of course not. Of course not. But I looked at Wemby after game one as the type of player saying, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. This guy is going to join Jordan and LeBron as the big three and maybe even pass them 10 years from now as the greatest player. But the Wemby I see now, okay? And I drew a comparison. If I could have one guy for his whole career, they were each 21 years old and they'd each be injury-free, who would I take, Wemby or Tim Duncan? And I said I'd absolutely take Wemby. Now I don't know. I don't know who I would take if they were each injury-free. Keith, I'm not
talking about injuries. Again, I'm not talking about injuries, but again, we can see ahead and see what Duncan did. We don't know what Wemby's going to do, right?
Oh yeah, but it's going to. But Wemby's not going to get worse. Let's be honest about it.
Think so.
If he's what we saw in this series.
We never know what guys do.
Again,
but at the same time,
if he understands his potential, I think that's the problem right now with him. He's still young and he doesn't understand his force in the game. So if he understands that he's a big man, he's got to play like a big man. Yeah, I know he's a stick figure. I understand that. But the point of the matter is a stick figure that's tall, like the Empire State Building. No pun intended, for you Knicks. But he's a tall guy, and he needs to dominate. When the first game, he did all that. He didn't go that for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
He had a couple of games where he did that. And he did it pretty much in the last game, too. But he's just got to realize that he's that guy that's going to make a difference in the middle.
To that comparison, though, Brian, to that comparison, Duncan and Danny actually beat me to it. He's the most fundamentally sound player I've ever seen play, Tim Duncan. Most fundamentally sound.
That's what I would have chose him as well. Yeah, the guy within that paint, within the perimeter, was probably one of the best power forwards.
I was talking about the Wemby of game one against OKC.
That's what we're saying too. That's what we're talking about.
If he plays like that, then yes, but I got to see what he does the next 10 years, Jack. Right? I mean, maybe I'll change my mind 10 years from now.
Yeah, this isn't like baseball, a batter who's all of a sudden not going to hit, a pitcher who's not going to pitch. I mean, once a guy is that talented, he's not going to get worse unless he has an attitude problem. And what I like about Wemby, too, the guys on the team seem to love him. They all get along great. Yeah. And he's not a prima donna as far as it seems the coaching staff goes. He doesn't demand control. He kind of fits in with the guys. And you can see his teammates were so happy for him getting the MVP. It wasn't they were just putting on a smiley face for the cameras. They really like the guy a heck of a lot. Stefan Castle guarding Jalen Brunson, I think that might be the key to the series because Castle is one of the better defenders in the NBA. So, and can Brunson guys have the success taking the ball to the basket the way he always has, with Castle guarding him and Wemby there?
Listen, if they defend like they did in this series, and Brian talked about it earlier, and you and I have talked about it a lot, Jack, if Wemby's going to drift away from that basket, well, then I'm going to take the ball to the basket all day long. Mm-hmm. And even if he's there, I might try to get him in foul trouble like he got last night. So.
I mean, he did a fair job again. I really can't say that either. I mean, he did an okay job on SGA, and you're talking about the MVP of the league.
Yeah,
and I think what would SGA average over the course of the 7-game series, like 28 points, something like that, 30 points. Yeah, 30? So there you go. I mean, he gave up 30 points, and he was guarding them. So I mean, and Brunson is to me, he's playing some of the best basketball right now. He's on that ledge with SGA at this point. So I would think that it probably wouldn't be any different. I think he'd probably give up some points to Brunson. Brunson's he's just a force of nature right now. So,
but Keith and myself got into a debate over what Stan Van Gundy said early in the playoffs about Karl Anthony Towns being one of the greatest shooting big men in NBA history. Okay, now that's the key in this series, because if Towns is really that, and he's shooting at the top of his game, Wemby's got to come out, or someone's got to come out. That's going to disrupt, San Antonio's defense. Wemby can't just play under the basket. And, if Towns is open there, so, we'll see with that.
It's going to be
he is going to come out, like you said, and that's going to allow for other guys to be open in other spots. So that changes differently. Because, I mean, when you have somebody like Hartenstein, he's not a three-point shooter. Chet was, but, I mean, he came up small. And so I would think that Wemby's going to have to come out and defend Karl Anthony Towns that far out. But it goes both ways, because the guy that's coming out can shoot three-pointers as well. And Wemby, he can actually shoot.
This is where I say San Antonio's defense has got to be more disciplined. I don't care. They don't have to. Wemby does not have to go out after Cat. They can just D up on somebody else. You're going to make the three-pointers. You're going to make the three-pointers. Okay, that's all. You got to live and die by the three-pointers. If that's the kind of game you want to play, you're going to play that way. So, you defend what you can on the three-point line, but keep Wemby underneath the basket. That's what he's got to do. That's the discipline that defense has got to show. Because if he does not do that, the Knicks are going to make this a series.
And I think the advantage for the Spurs is that Karl Anthony Towns is not a good defender. And you can only put Mitchell Robinson in so much. Like you said, he'd probably foul out.
He probably
definitely going to be
10 minutes.
Yeah, he's going to be.
But I think this is where Wemby's going to have a really good series.
Knicks are creative too and put a smaller guy on Wemby. I think OKC did it a couple of times. You might see a smaller guy on him at a lot.
OG Anunoby probably will be the guy to do that. Yeah.
Guys, I think the X factor is the Knicks, not San Antonio. We know what we're getting with San Antonio, a young, enthusiastic team who has upside to get better. But the Knicks, they're the X factor. Which is the real Knicks team? Because I'm going to tell you this. If this is the real Knicks team that has been destroying people by a record-breaking points differential, if this really is the real Knicks team that's hit their stride to get the regular season, they're going to roll over San Antonio. They're unbeatable. No one, I'm over series. There's no way San Antonio is even going to extend them if this is the real Knicks team, and it's doubtful if this is the real Knicks team, because I think it's more an aberration the way they destroyed the opposition. I just don't see it happening, and I think as the series gets on, the Knicks will be something in between the regular season team and the team that went on this historic playoff run. So I think it's going to be a nip and tuck series. I think it's going to go 7 games.
They could nick this up, as much as I want the Knicks to win, they could nick it up for sure.
Nick it up. I love that.
But I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the Knicks losing 7 games. I don't want to hear, oh, what a great season. Thanks a lot, guys.
That's what you hear from me.
No celebrations. Bottom line is Knicks have to get it done. They have to win. I don't want any competitive, heartbreaking loss in the series. It kind of reminds me getting to Keith's bread and butter college basketball, Seton Hall years ago with P.J. Carlissimo when they went on that great run and lost to Brian's Michigan team. Bottom line is they didn't win the NCAA title. I don't want to hear, oh, what a great year. Championship teams invited back for reunions. Near-miss teams aren't.
Boy, why do I have to agree with Jack at this point?
So, Jack, just before I get to James, who do you got in this series, Jack?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, I dreaded doing the show this morning, not because of you guys, because I would be forced to give a prediction. I like you guys, I don't never dread going on with you guys.
Sure about that,
and even though you guys frustrate me a little bit, I love you guys.
Find us hilarious.
I'm going to go, I have to be on emotion. It's hard because when you emotionally want a team to win, can you give a fair prediction? You don't want to. And that's the problem Keith Engle has over there. Keith wants the Knicks to win so badly, he can't look at it objectively.
I already said it was more of a heart than a head pick. I qualified my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to very unemotionally, I'm going to go with San Antonio in 7 games. I just think that as the series goes along, the deeper we go into the series, I feel, it favors San Antonio a little bit. Kind of like you hear 2 boxers, where you hear one box is getting better as the fight goes along. I think that's the case. Game 7 would be at San Antonio. I don't know why the NBA is doing like 2-2-1-1-1. Why make the teams travel? Do the 2-3-2 scenario.
They did for a while, and they went back to this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I don't either.
And then you end up with now where they've been playing every other night. Now you're going to get 2 days in between games, like 4 times or something in the series.
And this is going to drive Keith crazy in the future. Could you imagine the NBA as one of the finals games? They make them play somewhere like Brazil. They get on the plane, and it's on cable. We can't get it unless we subscribe to that.
You want my head to explode? Come on, stop.
Hey, they may be taking notes from Roger Goodell. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to play the Super Bowl probably in Brazil one day. You're right, Jack.
James, who you got in this series?
Okay, so I already came out and said a while back that whoever wins the West is going to win the whole thing, and I'm going to stick with that. I think I'm going to stick with San Antonio winning, and if there's not anybody that can stop Wemby, I think he does score in this series another 40 and 20. I just think he's like the human cheat code, as you say, and I like them in 6. I like the Spurs in 6.
And Mr. Keith Engle, what you got?
Knicks in a hard-fought 7-game series. Hard fought.
Well, I did not be hard fought if it's 7 games.
What do you say?
You just said 7 games wasn't a rivalry, so I mean.
No. The way Keith is hard fought 7 games. It's 7 games. It's got to be hard fought if it's 7 games.
Not necessarily. I mean, again, you had blowouts
7
in this
easy
7-game
games.
series.
You're going to tell me.
All right, then in a not hardly fought 7-game series.
So not hard fought 7-game series in Knicks.
I don't know how to counter that.
Yeah, he's Jack is just anyway. I'm going with SA in. 6
I got a Perth education here. Leave me alone.
But the funny thing about it is, if it was OKC playing the Knicks, I wouldn't hesitate. I would pick OKC. That's the strange part about it. Knicks match up better, regardless of Wemby with San Antonio. They have a legitimate shot at winning this series in Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and I'm telling you, with San Antonio beating OKC, that's the best right there. You got to beat them. I understand the matchup in the perspective of the matchup, but the Western Conference, and let me tell you something. At least San Antonio's going to play defense. That's something New York Knicks in a while is some defense. And they didn't play no defense. So, I mean, was San Antonio like top 3 defensively in the NBA this year, and they've been showing it. So, I mean, you got to look at that as well. And I'm not saying New York is a slouch at defense either. I think they're in the top 10 as well as far as defense, and they've been playing pretty well during the playoffs too.
And the key to a lot of their offensive runs was their defense.
Defense, yeah.
Who has a better bench, guys?
San Antonio.
I think so too. San Antonio.
They have New York. There's no slouch on the bench. I mean, McBride and Shemet are pretty decent players, but I mean, like you said, you can count on one hand people off the bench that are actually really good for the San Antonio. I mean, first of all, Dylan Harper is coming off the bench, so that kid's been playing lights out. So yeah, it's
good morning, Linda.
And I don't. Good morning, Ms. Linda. I don't know if there's anybody that compares to him on New York's bench. But still, again, you just can't look. Is there a puncher's chance for me with New York? Yeah, there is. But again, I think I mentioned on the show, we were talking about this, I think Friday. I think it's almost like, I wish you were there, Jack. It was like George Foreman knocking out Michael Moore. That's what the equivalent of New York beating one of the teams from the West would be to me. It'd be like oh my God, it actually happened. But
so the next, let me get this straight. The last 11 games, the Knicks have basically destroyed the opposition. They won a couple of close games. They stole a game from Cleveland in that stretch. But if you see what they did at the end of the game, and looking at their point differential, which is an NBA record, why are we just saying a puncher's chance? If this is the real Knicks team, let's say this is the real Knicks team, why are we saying this Cavalier team that lost to the Knicks are quitters? Look what they did to the Pistons. Are we going to call the Pistons quitters for what they did in Game 7?
In Game 7, yes, I'm calling them quitters.
Is a quitter. Everyone is a quitter when they lose.
It looked like the East just cannibalized itself. It just seemed like
two great players. They destroyed those guys.
The East just looked like it cannibalized itself. I mean, because it didn't make any sense. You win against this team, and then you lose against this team that was less inferior team. It just didn't seem legit. And don't get me wrong, the Knicks look great. They do look great, but are they looking great against inferior teams? That's my question. In comparison to the West, I don't know. It's just those two West teams. Like I said, to me, the best series just ended, and that's in my opinion. The best series of the whole playoffs just ended.
Yeah, but keep this in mind. If Williams been healthy for OKC, and I'll agree with you, maybe OKC wins the series. That was a big loss for OKC, to have a player Williams caliber out, with injury. So had that been the case, you feel, San Antonio's far from a lock in this series. I don't go with this puncher's chance like the Knicks. Oh, well, they could possibly win the series. I think this is a series that could go either way. I'm picking San Antonio to edge it out, but it could go either way. This is nearly a 50-50 series.
Sounds hard-fought.
Those guys, San Antonio is not getting. I knew it was going to go 7 this last series because they were the number 2 team in the league. Or in the East or West. In the league. It's just come on, man. Are we just like overlooking them? I know they're young, but they were beating OKC up during the regular season. It's just
8 out of 12. Haven't they beaten like 8 out of 12?
The Knicks won 2 out of 3 against San Antonio in the regular season, and their 2 wins were decisive.
Thank you, Danny.
I'm just saying this too. You got a point. James has got a point about the Eastern Conference. I think it was set up. It was set up for the Knicks to be successful, to tell you the truth, because they didn't draw. Had they drawn the Pistons instead of Pistons drawing Cleveland, because those two teams don't like each other anyway, and it was pretty much of a wash during the season between those two teams. So that series could have went either way, although I was very disappointed that the Pistons didn't show their behind. So I don't know who came to that game. They weren't the Pistons that I knew. There were some guys off the street, I think, that played. But anyway, I think that if the Pistons and the Knicks would have gotten to a series, this would be a different conversation, because then that's who the Pistons were looking forward to play in the playoffs, was the Knicks, because that was their monster off their back. That was the monster that was on their back that they had to get off, because they lost to the Knicks last year in the playoffs, and they thought that they should have won. They thought they should have won. I didn't think they should have won, but they thought they should have won that game, that series. So,
and let's not discount Boston. What happened to Boston? Where they dropped to Philadelphia. What the hell? Excuse me. Sorry. What the heck? Yeah, I think it was a good pattern for the Knicks, and I just think that they're going to meet a wall when they get to the finals. And I could be wrong. I will come on here and say that I was wrong if they win the finals for sure, without a doubt. But I think it's going to be a hard series. Yes, yeah, absolutely. But I think it's going to be a tough one for the Knicks when they face them.
Did Boston quit? I think they did at the end of that series. They quit.
I think they imploded. I mean, it's just I didn't get it. I just think, I mean, again, Philadelphia come back.
Game 7. Tatum was out for game 7.
I mean, I'm saying 3-1 though. I mean, Philadelphia was down 3-1, right?
Yeah, should have won that series.
But I don't think you quit. I can't think you can say they quit. Now in game 7, it's like when Cleveland gets beat by 50 in game 7. Well, they quit. Right. But when you're up 3-1, I don't think you just quit and then lose 3 games. I mean, at some point,
implode. Something was wrong.
Quit's a strong word for that series. Yeah. But I think they did implode because they were up 3-1, just like James said. So the Eastern Conference, the playoff runs for those teams are just weird, really weird. So, but we'll see. I think it's going to be a more competitive series than people think it's going to be between New York and San Antonio. Even though I still think San Antonio is going to win in 6 because of the matchups that the Knicks have with San Antonio. Their starting 5 is is really good.
You've left out an important part. I mean, Kenny Atkinson said that if you went by the analytics, the Cavs would be playing the Spurs right now. So.
I can't believe he's still a coach after saying
what a moron. I'm sorry. What a moron.
That's about as Bickerstaff coming up after game 7 and saying, oh, yeah, the Pistons did a really good job in this game 7. Well, were you there? That's how I know. That's how I know they replaced everybody because Bickerstaff wouldn't never say that. God. That was a different Bickerstaff. I don't know who that was.
Analytics. That's why you can take your analytics and you know what.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. Analytics is just paper.
Make them say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just show me the scoreboard.
So in wrapping up the show today, we do have another playoff, another finals that are coming in. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. Hurricanes versus the Golden Knights. Just real quick, who has everybody got in this? James, who you got between the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights? I know this is a hockey thing, and a lot of people don't follow hockey that well.
But I followed just enough to say I'm going to go with the Hurricanes. Just enough.
Same here. Las Vegas is a surprise team again, even though we shouldn't be surprised knowing, their history, especially to win 4th straight to get into the finals. But I'll go with the Hurricanes. I love the way you gave hockey mop-up time. It's like they were sitting at the end of the bench and like with a 28-point lead, you're sending them in for a minute and a half.
I'm going to start just for you next time, Jack. I'm going to start off with hockey.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go against the grain here and take Vegas to win, keep the momentum running John Tortorella's had since he came here, and then I'll add on to my predictions. He'll win the championship and get fired in the offseason. So.
No, I think the only thing if the Knicks get eliminated in the series, if they do lose a hard-fought 7-game series, the only way to get Keith out of his depression the next day, if he hears the news that Aaron Boone got fired as Yankee manager, that would give Keith a lift.
Thank you, Jack. I like you're looking out for me.
And on that note, I'm just going to say the Hurricanes in 7. I'm going to give Sonia kudos because that's her team too. So
Oh Jesus! Now I'm in big trouble. I forgot. Dang it. Oh well.
Darn it.
All right, folks. This has been the Sunday Morning Sports Podcast. I appreciate everybody for joining in the comments. I appreciate the banner between us here. Everybody have a good rest of your Sunday. We'll see you next Sunday at 8 a.m. Stay tuned for Keith Ingle's Stream of Consciousness next at 9 o'clock. Everybody, have a great week.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.